with Inspire Me 360, and then in this video I want to talk about some of the toxic traits that women can have that really push men into this zone of not trusting the feminine energy. And again, I've had experience seeing this, observing this, and even at times, I have to admit, being this in my younger days. And this is why I have the ability to talk about it, teach about it, all of those things. So first of all, one of the most kind of frustrating things I think for men is when women are specifically looking for a guy as a payday, or looking at what she can get from him. Okay, this is a very unhealed feminine energy. It's looking to a man for, again, his material wealth, the stuff he can buy her, anything like this that doesn't take into account his beautiful spirit and who he truly is. Okay, because if we all remember back to being young children, none of these things mattered. It was about, who you meshed with in terms of your energy. And, there were some kids, there were some little boys and little girls that got along well together because they liked to color, and there was some that liked to play soccer, and that was just the way it was. It wasn't about, how that other individual could, I guess, materially improve your life. And so when we kind of get back into this energy of divine love, we have to remember, again, that childlike energy. And what magnetizes us to another person needs to be their spirit, who they are, not what they can provide you. And I've heard a lot of women, friends of mine as well, talk about, well, I can get this guy to, take me out and buy me dinners, or buy me purses, or take me on trips, but you're going out with an individual that you don't fundamentally like. You don't like their energy, but you're pushing that aside because you want to gain things. And this is a very sad projection, or sad way for the feminine spirit to behave, because what it does is, first of all, it really confuses men, because you'll have these, women, and a lot of times they are very beautiful women, and they'll go out with men that would not capture their attention in any regard on a normal day. And so they're faking the energy of wanting to be around this man because they want to gain material things, okay? And there can be a multitude of reasons for this. A lot of times I find the correlation is to women that don't want to work very hard. So they want kind of an easy lifestyle. They want to lounge around. They want nice things. They want to appear like they have that luxury lifestyle, but they're inherently lazy. You're not going to find these women, working a job 9 to 5, working hard. Because again, when a woman knows how to work hard, and this is something that guys need to understand. When you have a hardworking woman, they don't take pride in men buying them things. They really take pride in what they've earned on their own. Now, it's nice to get a gift if that gift is given in love, but a good woman that's a hardworking woman isn't going to want things, okay? You can't buy her love. And so again, how this really skews things in terms of a man's mind is, okay, so now he has figured out that he can get beautiful women by giving them things, but they're beautiful on the outside, not beautiful on the inside. And so then this man gets used to having very attractive women that really don't have a lot of integrity, and this becomes the norm for them, and how they unfortunately view the feminine spirit. Because again, it's very easy to attract, it's like bees to honey, right? It's very easy to attract these type of feminine energies that want material wealth. All you have to do is dangle something, a fancy designer bag or shoes or a trip in front of one of these kind of feminine energies, and you've got them. And the other thing that you're going to find that comes with this type of feminine energy, drugs and alcohol, because they have to kind of leave their conscious headspace to be able to interact with a male energy or a masculine energy they don't love, because the feminine energy, even if in its wounded state, still wants that deeply connected love. So you have to kind of divert that consciousness through some mechanism to be able to appear like you're having fun, go through the motions. This is what I've observed in acquaintances and friends. And again, this is this toxic feminine energy that it really skews the male in, how he or how men see the feminine spirit. Okay, and then I want to go on the other side of this. It's also this kind of twisted thinking that men have too, that they should partner up with, somebody 20 years or 30 years or whatever it is younger than them. Men need to be also acting spiritually responsible. To be attracted to somebody that is many, many multiple years younger than you makes no sense if you're an intelligent man. And the only thing that it's saying again about your spiritual, I guess where you're at. I'm not saying that, couples can't have a little bit of an age gap, but what I'm saying is if you're a man and you're predominantly always chasing that young lady, that easy target, it's also a brokenness in you, because you're not asking for a full spectrum relationship. You're wanting a very cheap and easy relationship, but then you're going and essentially becoming this toxic masculine energy because you're projecting and your understanding of the feminine spirit is that women are like this. But women wouldn't be like this and you wouldn't even have that toxicity exist within either spectrums of the masculine or the feminine polarity if we just operated from a place of integrity. And I know that that's a very easy blanket statement, but again, I'm making this video to kind of break down those unhealed manifestations of the feminine, talking a little bit as well about the masculine unhealed state that kind of causes this. Okay, so the other thing that you will find in terms of an unhealed feminine spirit is a lot of hystericalness. So when a woman is in an unhealed state, in an unbalanced state, especially if she is extremely low in terms of her self-esteem, you'll find that she becomes hysterical, that she's not very rational. She'll also often become very bitter and jealous. So again, these are all very low vibrational ways of the feminine spirit showing up. But you'll see that, again, because she hasn't done the work to put in place all of the things that make the feminine spirit feel grounded within themselves. So that is having purpose, really feeling good about the decisions they're making. So not engaging in crazy amounts of partying, drugs, frivolous sexual relationships where, again, your self-esteem is going to be continually going down because nobody is truly honoring your body. So if the feminine spirit is engaging in these kind of things, what you're going to see in her behavior is, again, a lot of jealousy, okay? Because she doesn't feel good about herself. So she'll be triggered by, all of the things that are going on in the outside world. You will see, again, an ungroundedness, a sort of hysterics to her. She won't feel or she won't present as a very stable individual. And, with that comes a lot of bitterness and anger that feminine energy. I remember I was doing a photo shoot in Morocco once, and I was kind of in the middle of this Colosseum, and then we were doing this photo shoot, and this wife and husband and another wife and husband were walking down the hill towards the photo shoot, and the wife just absolutely started screaming at the husband because he had just glanced over at what was going on, but she was just, I've never heard a woman scream like that so loud. And again, it was such a presentation of such an unhealed feminine spirit, in the sense of and here's another perspective. I work around some incredibly beautiful young women at the college. We teach all sorts of aesthetics, medical aesthetics, and I mean, these girls are just angelic, and I am so proud of each and every one of them. And to me, it's so cool to see, how they dress and the different styles that they have, and just how incredibly beautiful they are. And I'm able to see these things and not feel triggered by them or not feel less than, because again, I've taken the time in my life to be very well read, to create companies, to work on my intellect, to work on the things that are also beneath the surface that give me confidence other than my external appearance. So it doesn't mean that, I still try to brush my hair and shower and, put on my makeup and everything else, but I know my intrinsic value is not just what is superficial. It's a good number of it, or a good amount of it, is actually what is the non-physical aspects of it. And so again, that's something that you will see in a very unhealed feminine energy, is if they haven't been diligent to building the other parts of themselves, if there's imbalance and they're leaning predominantly on their physical appearance, again, a lot of insecurity, and it's going to be very difficult for a masculine energy to be around a feminine energy like that, because there's nothing he can do to fill her. She needs to fill herself. And, just on the other side of the spectrum here, if you have a masculine spirit that has not done the work on himself, maybe he's just focused on his body, going to the gym, very superficial things, and he hasn't worked on his intelligence, his intellect, his ability to be on purpose, build a business, work hard, his hobbies, all of these different things. Again, you're going to see insecurities there because they aren't secure within themselves. And that's what leads to toxicity within relationships and a breakdown of balanced divine union within relationships. Okay? Now, another aspect of the unhealed feminine spirit is that victim mentality, or victimization paired with kind of a damsel in distress kind of energy. This is not a queen energy. This is, I need somebody to save me. I need somebody to take care of me. I'm going to lump all of my stuff on you because you are the man and you need to figure it out. This is a very toxic energy. It will become too much for any masculine spirit to hold or to carry. Within divine union, you have to have a strong warrior queen and a strong warrior king. They both have to be able to equally hold the energies of this world. You cannot have this damsel in distress energy that is constantly needing to be lifted up, constantly needing to be reminded to get out of bed, reminded to try hard, reminded to, this and that. It's, oh, you need a gift, honey. Oh, you need to go to the salon, honey. Oh, this is wounded feminine energy. A woman that is asking for you to continually and constantly chase after her is not in her healed divine feminine energy. Yes, there's going to be balance between two partners, and yes, you're going to do nice things for each other. You need to rescue should not have to rescue her. She is capable of rescuing herself. It is in the joining of two very strong, dynamic, beautifully balanced spirits that you create this immensely divine love. And I'm going to go back to the example of my grandparents again, but my grandmother, she, in the war, she was like 14 years old. She went into the middle of the prairies. She learned how to be a teacher. She was teaching these farm school kids where their fathers had gone off to war. And my grandpa was enlisted in the Navy, and at a very young age, I think he snuck in at 16 into the Canadian Army. And he was on these battleships, and he was this strong masculine spirit, just like my grandma was a very strong feminine spirit. Okay, she knew she could handle it. She knew that if there was a snowstorm in the middle of the prairies and she had a bunch of school kids, and it didn't matter that she was 15 years old. She got out there, she stoked the fire, she was going to take care of those kids. She was a strong woman. And the thing is that when the two of these individuals came together, this very strong, intelligent, beautiful woman that was my grandma, and same thing with my grandpa, a very strong, a man built on integrity and just very handsome as well. My grandpa was an incredibly handsome man. But when they came together with this spirit to build a family and this spirit to live life in the highest expression of what it means to be a human being, it's a beautiful thing that happens. I remember just even growing up as a little girl, just how incredible these two individuals were. The way that they taught me about all cultures, about indigenous cultures. Part of my background is, we have indigenous background in our lineage. And, just the way as well that my grandmother taught us about just how important it is to honor the land. And I remember us, as little kids, composting and having rain barrels and, just how passionately, she tended to her gardens, just everything about the natural world. And my grandpa very much so was integrated into all of this. He loved all of these things too. He loved the teaching principles. And just the way that they honored spirit so deeply. They just, to them, it would break either of their hearts to hurt the other. They just had such an immense respect for each other. And that spirit is what, again, not only touched my life and how I grew up, but it was just this beautiful example. And, I believe they had up to their 65th wedding anniversary. And died shortly within, a year or so of each other. But there was never a time when there was any frustration or tension between them. There was always just this immense, pervasive, incredible respect. But it was also because two very balanced people came together with not a lot of triggers, not a lot of ego, and a very direct intention to create something beautiful. They both knew what they were trying to create, and they both stuck to the plan. All the way along, they stuck to the plan, and they never let distractions or temptations or, their ego get in the way of their beautiful divine love. So again, I'm going to sign off. I don't want to make this video too long, but hopefully, again, this helps some of you guys out there in terms of creating a picture of what you want your future to look like. And I will say too that anytime we talk about toxicity or an unhealed feminine or masculine spirit, you always have the opportunity to heal yourself. So it's a bit of a journey, but don't ever label anybody as toxic or just continually in that state. Everybody is in a state of growing and learning, and even the most broken individuals can move into this next chapter of a very healed version of themselves. So in and of that, you have to love people at all stages. And you have to, I'm not saying you have to be in love with them or you have to be in a relationship with them. But what I am saying is that, part of honoring the spirit of all others is understanding that, okay, some of these toxic behaviors or these unhealed behaviors are happening. Hopefully that individual will acclimate or will swim to shallower waters where they can learn the lessons. It's not your job to help them learn their lessons or to make them learn their lessons. Everybody has to do that for themselves on their own. But what it is kind of our responsibility to do as we heal spiritually and as we come into this beautiful balanced state is to have compassion and hold compassion. And we can have compassion and hold compassion from a distance. I do this with many of my girlfriends, many of my guy friends that, again, maybe they're partying too much, maybe they're in that zone where they are superficial, maybe they're doing actions that don't align with my vibration. Doesn't mean I don't love them, it just means I don't have them present in my daily life. And I still send them light and love, I still hope for their healing journey. I just, again, have these boundaries around my own energy so that I can keep my journey as high vibrational as possible. So have a beautiful rest of your week and see you in the next video.